In the summer of 2021, a young couple embarked on a cross-country adventure. Gabby Petito and her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, documented their journey across America's national parks, sharing their experiences with the world through social media. Their idyllic trip took a tragic turn when Gabby went missing. The nation watched as the search for Gabby captivated headlines. Weeks later, her remains were found in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park. The cause of death: homicide. Gabby's fiancé, Brian Laundrie, became a person of interest in the case. He returned home from their trip without Gabby, hired a lawyer, and refused to cooperate with authorities. Laundrie subsequently disappeared, and his remains were later found in a Florida nature reserve. He had died by suicide, leaving behind a notebook confession that admitted to killing Gabby. The tragic case sent shockwaves across the nation and sparked a vital conversation about domestic violence. Gabby's story resonated with millions, not just because of the tragic ending but because it shed light on a pervasive issue often hidden in plain sight: domestic violence. The seemingly happy couple's social media presence masked a darker reality, a reality that sadly many individuals face behind closed doors. Gabby's case became a catalyst for change, prompting a national dialogue about the importance of recognizing the signs of domestic abuse and providing support to those who need it most. In the wake of unimaginable loss, Gabby Petito's family chose to channel their grief into action. Determined to prevent other families from experiencing similar heartbreak, they founded the Gabby Petito Foundation. This non-profit organization is dedicated to raising awareness about domestic violence and supporting victims and their families. Through the foundation, Gabby's memory continues to inspire hope and provide solace to those who have endured similar trauma. The foundation's efforts center around three primary pillars: education, awareness, and support. By educating the public about the complexities of domestic violence, the foundation aims to dispel myths and misconceptions surrounding this often misunderstood issue. Through targeted awareness campaigns, they strive to reach individuals who may be experiencing abuse, empowering them to seek help and break free from dangerous situations. The Gabby Petito Foundation also provides crucial support services to victims of domestic violence and their families. This includes financial assistance, counseling services, legal advocacy, and access to safe housing options. By offering a lifeline to those in need, the foundation helps survivors rebuild their lives and find hope for a brighter future. Since its inception, the Gabby Petito Foundation has made significant strides in the fight against domestic violence. The foundation has partnered with law enforcement agencies across the country to improve training programs for officers responding to domestic violence calls. They have also worked tirelessly to advocate for legislative reforms that strengthen protections for victims and hold abusers accountable. The foundation's impact extends far beyond policy changes and law enforcement training. Their tireless advocacy has helped to shift the national conversation surrounding domestic violence. By sharing Gabby's story and the stories of countless other survivors, they have given a voice to the voiceless and inspired a movement for change. The Gabby Petito Foundation's work is a testament to the power of turning tragedy into hope. By channeling their grief into action, Gabby's family has created a lasting legacy that will continue to save lives and empower survivors for generations to come. Domestic violence is a pattern of behaviors used by one person in a relationship to control the other. It can take many forms, including physical, emotional, sexual, and financial abuse. Recognizing the warning signs of domestic violence is crucial for both potential victims and those who care about them. One of the most common warning signs is controlling behavior. Abusers may isolate their partners from friends and family, monitor their phone calls and social media, or dictate how they dress and spend their time. They may also display extreme jealousy or possessiveness. Verbal abuse is another red flag. This can include constant criticism, name-calling, humiliation, and threats. Abusers may belittle their partner's accomplishments, undermine their self-esteem, or threaten to harm them or their loved ones. Physical violence is perhaps the most recognizable form of domestic violence, but it's important to remember that abuse can occur without leaving visible marks. Shoving, slapping, punching, kicking, and strangling are all forms of physical abuse. If you are experiencing domestic violence in the United States, there are resources available to help you escape the situation and begin the healing process. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, also known as NDVH, provides confidential, 24/7 support and resources to victims of domestic violence and their loved ones. You can reach the NDVH by calling 1-800-799-SAFE, that's 7233, texting START to 88788, or chatting with an advocate online at thehotline.org. The NDVH can provide you with safety planning, crisis intervention, emotional support, and referrals to local resources, such as shelters, support groups, and legal aid organizations. In addition to the NDVH, there are many other organizations across the United States that offer specialized services to victims of domestic violence. The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, or RAIN, provides support to victims of sexual violence, including domestic violence survivors. You can reach RAIN's National Sexual Assault Hotline at 800-656-HOPE, that's 4673, or access their online chat at rain.org. Love I Respect is another valuable resource that focuses on preventing and ending teen dating violence. Resources for Canadians. In Canada, there are numerous resources available to help victims of domestic violence. The Canadian Women's Foundation is a national organization dedicated to improving the lives of women and girls in Canada, including those affected by domestic violence. You can reach their toll-free support line at 1-866-293-4483. ShelterSafe.ca is a comprehensive online directory of over 400 shelters and transition houses across Canada that provide safe haven for women and children fleeing violence. The Assaulted Women's Helpline offers confidential 24/7 support to women in Ontario who have experienced any form of violence. You can reach them by calling 1-866-863-0511 or accessing their online chat at AWL.org. While access to resources is crucial, preventing domestic violence requires a societal shift that prioritizes respect, equality, and healthy relationships. We must foster a culture where individuals feel empowered to speak out against abuse and support survivors without judgment or shame. This starts with educating ourselves and our children about healthy relationships, consent, and the dynamics of abuse. Open communication within families, schools, and communities can help dismantle harmful stereotypes and create a space where individuals feel safe discussing these sensitive issues. Bystander intervention is another crucial aspect of creating a culture of support. If you witness someone being abused or exhibiting abusive behavior, don't stay silent. Speak up, offer support to the victim, and encourage them to seek help. Education as prevention. Awareness is a powerful tool in the fight against domestic violence. By educating ourselves and others about the issue, we can help break the cycle of abuse and create a safer world for everyone. This includes understanding the root causes of domestic violence, recognizing the signs of an abusive relationship, and challenging societal norms that perpetuate gender inequality and violence. Educational initiatives can play a vital role in raising awareness and promoting prevention. Schools can implement comprehensive programs that teach students about healthy relationships, consent, and bystander intervention. Community organizations can host workshops and training sessions to educate adults about the signs of domestic violence and how to support survivors. The media also has a responsibility to portray domestic violence accurately and responsibly. By avoiding sensationalism and stereotypes, the media can help to foster empathy and understanding for victims and promote informed public discourse about this critical issue. Gabby Petito's tragic death served as a stark reminder of the pervasive nature of domestic violence. However, her legacy extends far beyond tragedy. Through the tireless efforts of her family and the Gabby Petito Foundation, her story has ignited a global movement for change. By raising awareness, advocating for policy reforms, and providing support to victims and their families, the foundation is working to create a world where domestic violence is no longer tolerated. Their work honors Gabby's memory by transforming heartbreak into action and hope into tangible change. Each of us has a role to play in ending domestic violence. By educating ourselves, supporting survivors, and challenging harmful attitudes and behaviors, we can create a future where everyone feels safe and respected in their relationships. Gabby's legacy reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable loss, hope can emerge, and change is possible when we come together to fight for a better world.